Hi, how are you today? The improved package has arrived. We're having it fitted in time for FP1. Have a look at the factory report.
What is going on, guys? It is Tom and welcome back to a brand new video and a brand new episode of my F1 2017 career mode, and we are here for the brand new season 2 of my career mode, and it's been a very successful first season, and we're now going to jump into it for the second year in Road Commerce 2018. But first things first, as you can see there, the upgrades that we purchased on after the last race in Abu Dhabi have now arrived, and hopefully it should boost us up a little bit further up the field, and hopefully we can have a good start to the season. Now, you may have noticed by the overalls and also the pink umbrellas in the background, the votes are in, and by a majority of you guys wanted me to go to Force India. It was between Force India and Red Bull as the two main choices for this season. I did go for the Red Bull contract at Abu Dhabi, but obviously Force India was the popular decision, so Force India is the one that we're sticking with for Season 2 of Career Mode. Also for this season now, guys, I'm switching to a short qualifying of 12 minutes to try and avoid a timing glitch at the end. Also, 110% AI now for this season, so the hardest possible difficulty on the game. And also, finally, I have a brand new custom helmet in-game, which you'll probably be seeing on screen right now. So, lots of new things and a little bit of changing in terms of the Season 1 format to try and make this a little bit more interesting. Also, replay cams featuring now in the races. Not too heavily. I'll try and bring them in a little bit more frequently later on in the season, but for now, you know, we're going to try and just ease them in and see what you guys think. But a couple of changes on the series overall, and hope you guys do look forward to it. However, the format still stays the same, so post commentary at the start and live commentary during the race. But as you can see, we're currently jumping now into Friday practice, again straight back down to work now for Season 2, and trying to get them precious R&D points for the new season to try and continue our push to make ourselves a better team here. Right now, we are still the 5th best team on the grid behind Williams, even though with all of them end of season upgrades after Abu Dhabi, we are still the 5th best team. So we've still got a lot of work to do here and a lot of progressing to do in the right direction. We are going to focus this season a little bit more on the chassis department and try and improve on that side of things. Possibly 1 or 2 air upgrades, and also I'm hoping to dabble with a few engine upgrades at some point this season. But overall, a very interesting season ahead, a very promising one, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing what 2018 has in store for us. But as you can see, currently running through the practice programs and having a few issues here and there, but overall still managing to get the purple score on the tyre wear test, and we then move on to the fuel saving, and once again a very successful test here as we get a purple score. So we are getting through these rather nice. You can see the brand new helmet there on screen with the new design from the top of the screen there, and also with 110% difficulty. Obviously the R&D programs do get a little bit harder in terms of the challenge that is presented to you, and also the times you have to beat. So the practice programs going up a level in difficulty this year, and also I'm looking at trying to improve the durability of some of the components and trying to stick to the 4 mandatory parts of the engine this season if all goes according to plan. So hopefully that we can make that a reality, and hopefully that works out for us rather nicely. But we're coming towards the end of the practice here and wrapping things up with the race strategy, and we are then going to move into qualifying, and hopefully we can have good results here. Like I said, the new format of qualifying, running the short format, which is going to be very interesting. So we're only going to have time for 2 runs in qualifying, so it's going to be very interesting, and this is going to be for our best result of the session. So it should promise to be a very interesting one as we move on to Saturday for qualifying. And here we are then, and it's a sort of the usual Saturday conditions, the sun pretty low on screen, and a little bit of lens flare to sort of disturb you, and ultra softs everywhere basically, and just absolutely maxing out the engine performance. And right now, as you can see, coming across the line for my first lap in the qualifying session, and that lap is good enough for P5, but it's not a spectacular lap by any means, and there's a lot of time left on the table, so we're going to run aboard now for the entirety of this lap now for my best lap in the session and see how it unfolds. Now going into turn 1, 5th gear, possibly 4th. I use 4th because I missed my apex slightly due to the sun being so low and not being able to see the apex properly, but you can normally use 5th through there, and that is normally my preference. As we now go into turn number 3, 3rd gear corner, pick up the apex, critical that you pick up the traction as soon as possible as we go into turn 4, really attack the curb on the inside there, run it as wide as you dare as we now go through turn 5, absolutely flat out, obviously no issues there, and then down to 4th gear for turn number 6 across the first sector split. I take a little bit of a corner cut there, turning in a little bit too early once again, just the vision being obstructed by the low light of day and turning in too early there. But now into turn 8, I believe, or turn 9, get a nice run through there, and critical that you get some good exit speed out of here onto the back straight to try and maximise your straight line speed as we now go into the 2 best corners on the track. Push it as much as you dare and really try and push the track limits here. Really good run through there, keeping it just within the track confines there. Really good run through the section, and we're now basically going into turn number 14 now. 4th gear corner in a very good, nice bit of run through there, not running it too wide, keeping it within the track limits, and then through turn 15, using all the track available as we now go into the penultimate corner. 3rd gear, I just missed my apex ever so slightly there, and now into the final corner. I used the short shift method to try and get the nose in and carry some nice speed through there. In a Mercedes, you're probably flat out, not quite in the full scene here. We come across the line, and let's see where the lap puts us come the end of the session, and I think it's going to be good enough for P11, so not too bad there for my first qualifying of the season. We didn't meet the objective, unfortunately, and we did get out qualified by Esteban Ocon. However, P11 is a very good position because we do get free choice of tyre for the race tomorrow, so that's going to be very good for us and very, very important for our race strategy. So hopefully we can try and convert that into a positive race for tomorrow. But other than that, that was the story of qualifying, being out qualified by Esteban Ocon. But we're now going to move on to Sunday for the race for the Australian Grand Prix. Okay, so here we are then for the first race of Season 2 in my F1 2017 career mode, and I'm very much looking forward to this race, guys. And we got a brand new, obviously, helmet for this season, and also 110% AI, so it's going to be a proper challenge this season, and the R&D is going to be more important than ever before to really try and progress through the field quite nicely. But on the race today, as you can see, we're going to be running a one-stop strategy, starting on the soft compound tyres, the hardest available, and then switching over to the super softs. Basically following what Ricardo did in real life in Monza, albeit on a couple of compounds harder tyres. But overall, this should be pretty damn good. I'm hoping that the tyres work nicely for me. The harder compound tyres do I can manage to switch them on, and then hopefully I can have a pretty good race. Also, the car, we're running a little bit less fuel this race. The team wanted me to run even lighter than what it is here, but I've just put in a little bit more just for safety precaution. But other than that, I'm looking forward to this race, guys, and it's going to be very interesting. P11, obviously, best position on the grid outside of the top 10, so you can start on fresh tyres and also free choice of tyres. So this is going to be very interesting to see how this race unfolds. We've got my teammate Esteban Ocon right in front of us there, so he's in P9, I'm in P11. Hopefully the target will be today to try and beat my teammate, and I'll be very happy with that result. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the first race of Season 2 now of career mode for Australia. Right, here we go then. 5 red lights for Season 2 of career mode. It's going to be lights out and away we go at Australia. It's a pretty good start off the line here, getting the jump on Hulkenberg, but Lance Stroll off an incredible start there in the Williams, and here we go into turn 1 for the first time, getting boxed in by a few cars. Going to take the outside line around the outside of the Williams, and we make it work, and we're up into P10 there, so we managed to overtake Lance Stroll. I'm going to pull to the inside and go defensive here, not allow Stroll to go up my inside as we go into turn 3 for the first time this race, taking the normal racing line now, and so far a good start here, gaining a position off the start line, and now we've got to see what our pace is like on these tyres with the heavier fuel load. But right now, let's see if we can try and follow the guys up ahead, and crucially try and keep an eye on our teammate, not let him get too far away. Meanwhile, Massa and Ricciardo going at it up ahead there, Williams versus Red Bull, which will be an interesting battle all season long. But let's see how the new upgrades fare as we get very close to Grosjean there, and see if they help us in this race, and see if we're a little bit more competitive even with the 110% AI. So let's see if we can just follow these guys and see what happens. Stroll's behind me on super soft, so he's going to be pretty quick, and also Grosjean ahead on ultras. So different tyres across the board here, and I'm a little bit out of place with mine, but hopefully it doesn't affect me too badly, as now Massa's looking to make a move, and also Ocon's making a move on Verstappen here. So it's all kicking off at Australia early on. Ocon trying to go right on the outside of Max Verstappen. He doesn't quite pull it off though, and Verstappen defends his position quite nicely. I'm all over the back of Romain Grosjean here. Can I go for the dive on the brakes? I'm going to have a look, and I'm going to commit to it, taking the inside line, squeeze Grosjean out, and there we go. We're up into 9th place. So even though we're on 2 compounds harder tyres, we're still making some good moves here and driving it very intelligently on this opening lap of the race. But now let's see if we can keep up with Ocon and Verstappen. Oh, Massa's off. Massa just pulled off to the side of the track. So Massa, I think, yeah, he's out of the Australian Grand Prix. So early retirement here, and that's going to promote me now up into 8th place. So so far, so good. Let's see if we can keep up with my teammate though, because Verstappen's going to start pulling away, and so is Esteban. So I'm going to be basically pretty much in Grosjean's sight throughout the entirety of this first stint, especially next lap once the DRS does get enabled. So let's try and pull away here. Okay, well the car's starting to feel pretty good on these tyres. 27.9, not too bad. Grosjean is within DRS, however, we are pulling away from Stroll, I believe. He's just starting to drop back slightly, so we are starting to separate. It's all trailing cars behind, and me and Grosjean are just starting to pull away slightly here. So I've got some good pace, and Ocon is still in my sight, even though he's on ultra soft tyres. So not too bad here, and the car's working nicely on these yellow wall soft tyres. Okay, so I'm just starting to really stretch Grosjean now. He's sort of dropping back a little bit. Also, Esteban Ocon is actually right on the back of Max Verstappen here. So we're just starting to find a little bit of pace here, the Pink Panthers. And we are still the 5th fastest team on the grid. Williams are actually faster than us still. But it definitely feels better this season. We do feel a little bit more competitive so far. Me and Grosjean now definitely properly pulled away now from Lance Stroll behind. So my pace is good. I'm sort of pulling Grosjean with me because he's in DRS. But I'm quite impressed with my pace on these, and if Ocon's all over the back of Verstappen and they're both on ultra soft tyres, then there's also a possibility that I can maybe beat the Red Bulls here with my one-stop strategy. So a lot of options this race for a good result. This time though, Grosjean's actually got a good run on me here. I think he's turned up the engine a little bit, so he's on my inside. I'm going to leave him in the room, but I'm just going to squeeze him out, and he's not going to keep up with me through there. Unfortunately, this is going to allow the Williams or Stroll and the guys following him to catch up, so I need to try and get my foot down here and try and break Grosjean's DRS. Right, Vettel's in the pit lane. He's off them super soft tyres, or he's gone on to super soft tyres, one or the other. I've done another personal best, so my pace is still good here, and I'm liking how consistent this soft tyre is. So we're looking good so far. The longer this tyre survives, the better. But right now, Ocon and Verstappen are actually catching Ricciardo here. So strategy-wise, we've got a few possibilities this race. Okay, so we've got a few more cars in the pit lane. This time Ricciardo's in there, and also we've got Raikkonen, and I think that's a Mercedes. So we're going to gain a few places for the time being. It's Lewis Hamilton who's pit, so he was the race leader. So there you go. Lewis Hamilton's already got a pit stop gap to me already, but let's see what our pace is like. Obviously, Hamilton's going to pull away, especially on fresh ultra softs, but Raikkonen's on supers. He's probably going to catch me up fairly quickly, but I'd like to hopefully not lose too much time once he eventually catches up to the back of me here. Okay, here comes Kimi. I'm just going to leave the inside open for him to make the move, because there is literally no point in me battling a Ferrari, so let's just try and keep up with him. Hopefully I can nab a little bit of DRS for the next straight, and then I'll get double DRS. So let's just try and keep up close with him, and that will be a very successful allowing Kimi to let me pass. And there we go, we do have DRS, so that's pretty decent for us. Meanwhile, I think Verstappen or Verstappen or Bottas, I can't tell. No, it's Bottas who's in the pit lane. We're going to come out ahead of him also. So Verstappen's staying out, which is rather interesting strategy from him there, but still good pace. We're not letting the rivals around us sort of put us off our rhythm. We're still doing some very good lap times here. Okay, so I think now finally Verstappen and Ocon have come off their ultra soft tyres and they're coming for their pit stops. They're both going onto the soft compound tyre, so interesting strategy there. They might be going to the end, so if they are, I might have to keep that in mind to possibly go on the ultra soft myself later on this race to try and make up the time, because right now this tyre's holding on quite nicely. I think I could go onto the ultra soft if I wanted to in the final stint of the race here. Okay, here comes Vettel now. He's over the back of me on super soft, so I'm going to let him have the inside. I don't want to battle him too hard here, so hopefully he goes up the inside. There you go. Not going to waste too much time behind him. However, that's now brought Bottas right up to the back of me here, so let's allow Bottas through. I just don't want to battle these guys, because we're doing a very good race so far. We've got some really good pace here, and it's all going rather well for me. So let's just try and keep up with these guys and hopefully nab a little bit of DRS. I has allowed Stroll to catch up to the back of me, which isn't ideal, but as long as I can get DRS off of Bottas here, then I'm alright, and I think I have. So there you go. We've got DRS, so we're not going to lose too much time. Another personal best here. Still got some good pace, and in clean air I can still perform on these tyres, and I can still defend myself from those around me. Okay, so Stroll comes in and he's off of them super soft tyres. He was on the back of me, so that is a possible undercut attempt from him. I'm going to stay out, obviously stick to my strategy, but got to keep an eye on Lance here, because that's a very bold undercut, which if he makes work on the soft compound tyres, then we could be in trouble. But right now I'm just focusing on myself here and these tyres. Okay, out the final corner now onto lap number 16. I'm going to come in this lap for super soft tyres. Meanwhile, here comes Danny Rick, and I'm going to defend from Ricciardo because I am raising him for position here, because Ricciardo's got one more stop left. He's on ultra softs, so this is going to be for final race position. So I've got to defend here from Danny Rick, and he's fasting. He's wanting to try and get the move on me, obviously in his home race here. He's going to try and look for the outside. Can I defend? I'm going to run a little bit deep, pick up the traction. There we go. We're going to stay ahead for now, and hopefully I can beat him into the pit lane and then stay ahead once we've done our pit stops, because that is going to be absolutely critical around here. And also Ocon and Verstappen obviously are going to the end, but they'll be on used softs, whereas I'll be on fresh supers. So we're going to try and push really hard now once we've hit in this lap. So let's just try and defend from Ricciardo now, and then take care of the pit stops later on. Okay, into the penultimate corner. Let's come in now into the pit lane. These soft tyres have been pretty good for me this race, and I've really actually enjoyed racing on them, but it's now time. Ricciardo stays out for one more lap here. I'm going to come in for my final stop of the race, my one and only I should say, and it's going to be onto these super soft tyres here. So let's have a nice quick stop here, nice and quick. Away we go, 2.3. Very good stop there. That is a very quick pit stop, and we're away already. So let's try and get on our way and release the limiter as soon as possible, and let's see where we finish this race. So there we go, limiter off. Let's get up to speed now, and let's see if we can just get some good pace here. We're going to really jump behind Lance Stroll, but he's on soft tyres, so it's okay. We should have the pace over him. The only issue is I don't have any rich mix because I started the race severely under fuel, so we're going to be in standard on these fresh tyres, but I've got the pace, I think, to make the moves. Right, a couple of cars in the pit lane, which include Nico Hulkenberg, and the other one is going to be, is that Daniel Ricciardo? Yes, Ricciardo. So he's gone for the overcut. Has it worked? I've gone around the outside and it hasn't worked for him. He's on super soft, so same tyre as me, and I've managed to stay ahead of Ricciardo there by pitting a lap before him. So good strategy from me there, and now I can try and catch Lance Stroll and try and put some distance between myself and the Honey Badger, because he's going to be quicker than me on that tyre, obviously. So I need to get a car between me and him so that he can get distracted battling and I can try and pull away. Okay, into the penultimate corner here. I'm trying to save fuel, hence why I'm in lead mix here. And I need to try and save a little bit because I'm running a little bit over target. But I'm going to crank up into standard, use the DRS here to try and keep up with Lance Stroll. We should have enough speed that Ricciardo shouldn't make the move on me, because I've got a huge toe here. So into turn 1, a little bit deep into there. Can I get the run on Stroll? He's had a good exit, to be fair to him, and I've missed my apex through turn 1 slightly. So Ricciardo's going to be on the back of me. I'm going to stick in Lance Stroll's slipstream here. And so far, no move just yet, but it should be fairly imminent. We're up into 8th place now. Someone else did a pit stop behind, which I didn't really notice, but I'm all over the back of Lance Stroll here, so I want to make the move as soon as possible, and that may be earlier than I expect, and maybe out of this corner here if I can get a good run. So let's just see what our exit speed is like, and it's pretty poor as we get a little snap of oversteer. I think it's going to have to be in the DRS. That's the only way I'm going to get past Lance Stroll now after this, unless I get him out of the far chicane. Okay, so once again on the pit straight, let's see if we can try and set ourselves up, get a good run through the first corner here, and try and attack Stroll into turn 3. I've had a good run through, but I'm just not close enough. That Williams is very fast in a straight line still, and I don't think I've got enough in a straight line to get him. So let's see if I can pass him elsewhere, because that Williams is frustrating me already a little bit, and Ricciardo is still sitting there right behind me, so I've got to be very wary of my surroundings. Okay, into the far chicane. Can we get a run this time? I'm actually going to dip into the rich mixture here, even though I'm in negative. Can I get close enough? No, I can't. I just can't get close enough to Lance Stroll. And he just gets some great acceleration out of the main areas where you want to try and make a move. So it's really frustrating here, sitting behind the Canadian. And there's a P7 up for grabs, which is great points for me if I can overtake him. So let's try this move again. Through the final corner now. And are we close enough? I don't think we are. We can't get close enough here behind Stroll, which is very frustrating. I'm going to actually go to rich mix here, and I'm going to try and size him up into turn 3. So can I get a good run through turn 1? This time I'm very close, and I'm in rich mix this time. Let's open up the DRS here. It's going to have to be a dive on the brakes, I think. That's the only way I'm going to get this move. Can I go for it here? I'm going to go on the brakes, up the inside. He's still there on my outside. I'm going to squat on the traction on the outside with the fresh tyres, and I've done the move, and he's still there. I'm going to have the inside for the next corner, and there we go. We've finally gotten past Stroll, and now I can try and put my foot down. Okay, so I've absolutely bolted. Ricciardo has now got past Lance Stroll. There's 11 seconds between myself and Esteban Ocon, so let's try and catch my teammate. Personal best 26.1. Ricciardo back within DRS. I'm about 7 tenths to 8 tenths faster a lap than Ocon, so I don't think we're going to catch him unless he drops off the pace a little bit more. Here comes Ricciardo. He's gone to the inside of me. I wasn't expecting it. He's caught me off guard. He's made the move, and he's up into P7. And to be fair, he's much faster than me, and I've tried my hardest to keep him behind, but it only took one sniff with a little bit of DRS, and I had the best exit I could possibly have out the final corner there. So fair play to Ricciardo for overtaking me. I'm just going to see if I can follow him, hopefully stay within his DRS, and hopefully he can drag me towards my teammate Ocon, who's just up the road. I don't know if we've got enough laps left, but I'm going to hope that we do catch him. Okay, so on to the last lap. It's looking pretty comfortable for us. I think it's going to be P8 for the first race of the season, and that's not too bad considering I started from 11th place, and our first proper race on 110% AI, so solid progress. I'm going to lose to my teammate, which is slightly unfortunate, but still it could have gone much worse, and Ocon's just up the road. Luckily though, Ricciardo isn't going to catch him, so we are going to score quite a few points. Actually be rather close to Red Bulls. We are going to split the Red Bulls here thanks to Esteban, so who knows, maybe the battle for third place may already be on this season. We're a little bit further behind right now, just slightly off the pace, but who knows, maybe by the midway point of the season it could be a totally different story. But Lewis Hamilton wins in Australia, and I think this is going to be the final finishing position of my race. Okay, through the final corner then, and Verstappen actually dropped off the pace there. Ocon was right up his chuff there. One more lap and he may have passed him, but it's going to be Verstappen from Ocon, from Ricardo, from myself. So overall, not too bad, and I never thought I'd say we would be competing with the Red Bulls around here. So that is a massive step up in performance over the winter, even though we are still the 5th best team behind Williams, which is rather odd. But overall, a very solid race and some really solid pace throughout the entirety of that Grand Prix. I was very impressed with the soft tyre. I wish I was a little bit faster on that at the start, more than anything. I was a little bit slow off the start with that tyre in the first 5 laps or so, but other than that, that was a very solid race, and I think I drove that pretty much to perfection, and I lost very minimal time throughout the entirety of the race. But Lewis wins it, and as you can see, there's Lance Stroll and P9 who finished just behind us on the soft compound tyres. But Mercedes start off their season on the right foot, and a big 25 points for them. They're both Ferraris to either side, and Bottas in P4. The defending champion Kimi Räikkönen in 3rd place, I believe, or sorry, 2nd place. So overall, a very interesting race there. But Mercedes starting off where they left off last season in Abu Dhabi with a race win, and Ferrari obviously as defending champions will be looking to try and bounce back in the next race in China. But other than that, that was Australia. We're now going to move into the final race results, drivers and constructors standings after the first race of the season. And looking at the final race results, you can see that Lewis Hamilton wins at Australia, followed by last year's defending champion Kimi Räikkönen, and then Sebastian Vettel runs off the podium ahead of Valtteri Bottas in the other Mercedes in P4. And then Verstappen beats Ocon, and Ricciardo beats me, so Red Bull getting the upper hand on both of the Force Indians here respectively, with Lance Stroll and Carlos Sainz rounding up the top 10 there. And as we scroll further down, as you can see in the bottom half of the table, we've got Felipe Massa retiring there, with Alonso, Ericsson, Verlaine and Van Dorn there, all a lap down along with Palmer and Magnussen there. So also, Grosjean, who was battling me earlier on this race, way down in P13, so a disappointing end to the race for him there. But obviously, in terms of the standings, the drivers remains exactly the same as the race results, but the constructors, as you can see, were once again back in 4th place, and normal order is resumed for the top 5 there in the championship. Other than that, guys, that's been this first episode of Career Mode for Season 2, and if you guys have enjoyed it, then please do smash the like button. Also, subscribe if you're new around here, and let me know in the comments down below if you want me to showcase the classic cars anymore in Career Mode. Let me know in the comments down below. But other than that, guys, do check out these videos on screen. And apart from that, guys, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in my next video very soon. Goodbye.